When you take a look at some of the best teams throughout history, even in today's NFL, it really starts with leadership at the top. That trickles its way down to good coaching staff, which then the players see, they adopt it, and all of a sudden you've got a very good organization. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I think Gutekunst is one of the best general managers in football today and what that means for the Packer organization going forward. We're also going to take a look at the latest updates on the free agency front for the Packers. Before I jump into all of that content, if you like it, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. When it comes to Brian Gutekunst, okay, Gutekunst has proved that you don't always have to do the popular thing in the moment or make the popular decision in the moment to be liked or respected. Clearly, he has done that, and he has gone through a lot as far as people ridiculing some of the decisions that he has made. But he hasn't been secretive about building for the future, and while doing so, he's also communicated through his actions he isn't willing to compromise on overpaying guys or what he surmises is overpaying a player, mainly based on age or even lack of production. Case in point, when we talk about age, he looked at Aaron Rodgers and he saw a Hall of Fame quarterback in his roster at the moment. He knew he wasn't going to be getting any younger. He knew he had to start, looking for the future. And when Jordan Love came up, he saw something in Jordan Love that a lot of us did not see. And he's like, okay, this is going to be my guy for the future. So I want him to learn from the best out there. So we're going to do that. It wasn't the popular decision in the moment. He took a lot of heat for it, a lot of ridicule for it, not just his Packer fan base, but throughout the NFL as a whole. Commentators, all of that stuff. David Bakhtiari, another guy that, was getting up there in age, a guy that meant a lot to the organization. He cut ties with him, and that was a little bit easier of a decision on a couple of things because he's been injury prone and hasn't played many games in the last few years. And then also at the same sense, I mean, he saved $21 million by doing so, which then freed up some cap space for him to go and get your Xavier McKinney, which was a complete home run. And then you got your Josh Jacobs. Oh, by the way, if you listen to ESPN this morning, they already are saying that the Packers are going to be one of the Super Bowl contenders because of Brian Gutekunst and the decisions that he has made, and came along with some extra baggage, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But when you talk about even cutting players from a production standpoint, AJ Dillon, he's going to be one of those guys that the Packers are just going to be not re-signing and letting go, letting him move on and get paid somewhere else to see if he can contribute. We're going to take a look at that in a second. But he didn't see the production out of Dillon. He's not going to pay him. Devondre Campbell, he didn't see the production out of him last year. We saw it in previous years. Again, he's not getting any younger. So they cut ties with him. They save cap space. And again, they're able to resign, or they're able to go and sign some big name free agents out there, something that Gutekunst isn't known for doing because he doesn't want to break the bank and going to get those free agents unless he sees the value, unless he sees that, you've got an Xavier McKinney who's only 24 years old. They sign him, they get younger there in that position. I love it. I think it was an absolute brilliant move. And then you got a guy like John Runyon, a guy that can contribute, and a guy that started, I think, 11 games last season for the Packers. But he saw that there was better talent, and in Sean Ryan, so they had to let Runyon go. So brilliant move by Gutekunst by allowing Runyon to go. Of course, they wanted to retain him because that just adds depth. But you can't overpay for a guy to just sit there and be a rotational piece. Just can't do it. He makes those tough decisions. And oh, by the way, when it comes to Aaron Jones, talk about a non-popular decision because who doesn't love Aaron Jones? Everybody loves Aaron Jones. He means more to this organization than just his production on the football field. But, you know, he's not getting any younger. He's turning 30 in December. So Gutekunst sees that, hey, he can improve from an age standpoint and sign a younger, healthier back in Josh Jacobs. So he goes and does that. So age is a factor. He sees that. He sees health as a factor because if you know last season, Aaron Jones, I mean, he was injury. He missed I think he missed like 4 to 6 games ish if you add it all up. But The reason why he was so productive at the end of the season was because he had fresh legs. So if he were to be there all season long, is he going to look as good come playoff time? And that's a decision Gutekunst probably had to take into account when it came to re-signing Aaron Jones. Of course, he wanted to. We already talked about that from the money standpoint. He wanted to re-sign Aaron Jones, but he didn't do that because it's like, hey, I'm not going to overpay for a guy that we're going to be, not we're not going to be giving him the rock as much as we're going to be giving Josh Jacobs. So we just can't financially. It just doesn't make sense. So again, Gutekunst, he's willing to do the unpopular thing in the moment for the better of the organization, guys. And to me, I want a general manager that is going to do that, though, that is going to make those tough decisions and tough choices out there. So let's take a look at where the Packers currently stand as far as who they've added. They've, of course, added Josh Jacobs, running back. That is a huge upgrade. And a lot of analysts out there will tell you that that is an upgrade, not necessarily from Aaron Jones, because I think Aaron Jones was at his best at the end of last season. But he's so dynamic. He can do so much, and he's going to make defenses think twice about even tackling him. So that was a huge move, huge signing by Gutekunst to go and get him. Xavier McKinney, he's going to be so important to Halfley's defense. This was a complete. This wasn't just a home run. This was a grand slam of a pick. And then guys that they lost, Jonathan Owens, he goes to the Bears. If you haven't seen that, Owens gets signed by the Bears. Runyon is gone. He goes to the Giants. Savage, he goes to the Jaguars. They lose him. Um, Guys that that they have re-signed, free agents that they have re-signed and retained. Just recently, they re-signed Corey Ballantyne. Whatever. That's just a depth right there. Ballantyne looked good at times. Also, whatever. I'm not a huge a Ballantyne fan. Corey Ballantyne is a much better corner in my opinion. So, but they retain Tyler Davis. And then obviously the big re-signing was the return guy, Keyshawn Nixon. He can also play the nickel pretty well. So that being said, that is if you were looking at it from a dollars and cents standpoint, Keyshawn Nixon is the dude who made the most sense from a re-signing standpoint. And Gutekunst goes out and he does that. Okay, so leave your comments. Let me know what you think about Gutekunst. Is he one of the best general managers in the business? I happen to think he certainly is. And I happen to think one of those other better general managers is in Detroit. So, that being said, the NFC North is going to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to next season. Okay. Next season, watch out. Packers Lions, that is going to be a fight for the division. Go, Pack, go.